on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So if you saw any of my shorts videos, you probably seen that we traded the Bobcat T770 we got this last summer in on a brand new 2025 T86. I did a demo back in January, kind of did a video on the comparison between the R series and the M series, and I just really like this 86 over the 770, and I should have just went ahead and got this the first time, but I ended up trading the 770 back for 86, as I was saying. So if you watch that M and R series comparison, I kind of went over all the features. So I'm not going to go over every detail of this machine because you can watch it on that video, but I'm just going to try to hit some of the highlights of this new machine, which is a little bit different from the one that I demoed. Now this one is the Gold series. So what that gets you is you get this clear-sided window. As I was saying, you get it on this front part and on this bottom part. Now these are polycarbonate, and then this back sliding window is still the tempered glass. So also with the Gold series, you get these side LED lights, and they're really nice. I turned them on at night. They're pretty bright. You know, they light up pretty far out here. And of course you get the premium lights, LEDs in front and rear as well. So pretty much with the Gold package, you get almost everything. You get the reversing fan, you get the ride control, you get the bucket positioning up and down. What else? You get the 7-inch screen in there, touch screen display. You get the auto throttle. You get machine IQ. You get 3 years of security and the health. So what the machine IQ allows you to do is track the machine. It's kind of like a GPS that shows up where the machine is. And the health package, basically, if you have trouble with the machine or it throws a fault code, it'll send you an email and it will list some possible solutions to the fault code, like a couple things you could try to check, to fix it, to see if it works, or you could just call your dealer and they can log into that machine IQ and figure out what's going on with the machine. I have had to use that feature before and it worked out really nice. This machine does come with a 3-year warranty, so they up the warranty on these R series from 2-year to 3-year. You get a 5-year emissions warranty. And I believe the 3-year warranty is 3-year 2,000, whichever comes first. And then the 5-year on the emissions is, I think, 5-year 3,000. But I'd have to double check those numbers. But I know for sure the warranty is 3-year, and then the emission is 5-year, but I'm not for sure on the hours part. But anyway, we got the 5-link torsion suspension, so you can get this machine with the 5-link, or you can get it with the rigid mount. All the machines I've had, I've always had the rigid mount, so we went with the 5-link on this one. And the ride is a lot better. Down here we got the torsion axles, so there's one in the front and one in the rear. So if you're familiar with torsion axles on trailers, you know they got the rubber in there and the square stock, and they cushion it like the springs. So that's how this thing is set up. So it's got grease zerks, 2 up there on that one, and then there's 3 back here on this one. The track frame to me looks well built. You know, you got a bunch of reinforced cast steel right up in here, which is nice, because some of the old machines, they would break out right here. So this is a good design on the track frame. Everything forward up here is all rigid mounted. There's nothing moving in and out. You got a dual flange roller up front. We got a triple flange roller in the rear. That'll help a lot with detracking. And I have used this machine quite a bit since we got it. It took me so long to make this video because it's been freezing cold out here. We had some negative temperatures and some snow a couple days, but now that it's nice, we got out here to use this. And cleaning these track frames has been really good. Most of the dirt, you know, will fall off there. And this cutout is something I really liked on this machine. So before, dirt would just pile up right here, and now it kind of, the sprocket, when it's turning, it kind of flicks the mud down and it just falls out the bottom. So that's a nice feature I like about it. And of course, that triple flange roller in the rear helps with the detracking. I kind of went over this in that M versus R series video, how the bottom was open so debris could fall out. And one thing I mentioned was that machine I demoed had the hose coverings and the jog shuttle in the cab. So Bobcat has done away with that, and you have to buy it extra. We ended up and got the jog shuttle. If you saw that video, the wiring's there, you can put it in, it's plug and play, works great. But I didn't get the tube line coverings. It's an extra $400. I'll probably eventually end up and get that. But yeah, so that is not coming standard on the machines anymore. I kept the weight kit from the 770. I added 200 pounds on the rear. I had 400, but decided I didn't need that much weight, so I dropped it down to 2. Now this machine weighs, with the torsion suspension, it weighs 13,100 pounds. So we added the counterweight on the back, so now we're at about 13,300 pounds on this machine, total operating weight. So as we come around to the rear, you notice, for any of you Bobcat guys, probably noticed this coolant. It's not purple anymore, it's now orange. Bobcat has changed their coolant. This is called the Bobcat Advanced coolant. I think it's a ethylene glycol mix instead of a propylene, but I could be wrong. So that's a new coolant in there. Again, I kind of went over some of this stuff on that other video, but easy to service. Pretty much everything is all back here. There's a case drain filter on this machine and a hydraulic filter, and you got to raise the cab up. It's located under the cab, but you can pretty well get to everything under here. The fuel system is a Bosch fuel system on these now instead of the Delphi. So you got the Bosch injectors and the Bosch common rail system, so that's a lot better fuel system, in my opinion. I got the air filter back here. The only thing that's kind of hard to get to is the oil filter, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, because I had to install a block heater, which was really a pain to get put on compared to the M series. But yeah, I just used some channel locks, channel lock brand oil filter wrench, and just loosen this filter because I had to take it off to get in there to install a block heater. But it does make a mess and drain oil down, but there's a nice big pan under the engine that you can undo to clean all that out. So we got the DEF fluid over here, fuel over here. I mentioned this before, I do like that fuel cap, nice and big. I will say this machine uses quite a bit more fuel than the 770 did, and I feel like it uses quite a bit more DEF. Now the fuel tank's not as big as it was on the 770, but I think it's going to end up and use quite a bit more. We got the AC condenser back here, which is nice, easy to clean that out. No more fans. The 770 had the fans back here that ran after you shut the engine off for quite some time in the summer, and that was kind of annoying. Didn't mind it at first, but after a while it got kind of annoying. So none of that. This radiator is ginormous on this machine, so pretty good cooling capacity. So they did move the battery. I know I talked about that. They moved the battery up front now. So if you do need to jump it, there's a jumper lug right here. You can pop this off and hook your positive up right there, and hook the ground up right here on this engine mount, and you can jump start it. So that's no issue. Moving around over here, they changed this HVAC cab filter. There's only one on here, so you don't have to buy two filters now. So there's just one on this side. This machine has the red hydraulic oil in it for our region, Oklahoma. So it's below the line. So anybody like midway through Kansas and up across the whole United States, I believe, is the blue fluid, and everybody south of that line is the red. So this one came factory with the red fluid. The air intake is up here on this one. And there is, some of these R series they talked about in the earlier models didn't have these seals. Like there wasn't a seal here, and there wasn't one below the cab or around the hoses coming in. They'd fill up with dirt. Well, they've added a seal kit on these from under the cab down the sides, and they got an additional seal kit that will cover these holes right here. I got that on order. It should be here tomorrow. And then it covers some more up here around where the cab bolts down, and then up here it'll cover these spots there to just keep debris out. So like I said, I got that on order. Hydraulic fill is here. I thought this was gonna kind of be a pain to get in here to fill, but it's not too bad. I had to put a little bit of hydraulic oil in it already. Just get a little funnel. It's just fine. I do wish, like I was saying earlier, that they would move this sight gauge and put like a gauge kind of like Caterpillar has right there, so you could open it and check. They could even leave that one down there, but have a secondary, because when there's mud and stuff up here, you can't see this. So other than that, in that other video, I went over the cast lift arms, the Bobcat and everything. All the grease points are now on the outside, so it's a little easier to get to, so that means it's more likely to get greased. This machine does have the Super Flow option on it. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it on the gold package. This down here is your bucket positioning. You got this cord in here, tells where the loader is to move the Bobcat back and forth. Good tie down points on it. There's tie down points on the rear. But we'll lift the cab up and I'll show you guys under the cab. Well, we're looking under the cab of the new 86. There is tons of room in here to work on stuff compared to the M series. I mean, you could full on set up a table and chairs and have a picnic in here. This all open room, don't have to lay on your stomach. I can get in here, get all the way to the back, set down on these torsion axle frame right there. Pretty much get to all these hoses pretty easily if you ever had one blow and had to replace it. Lots of room in here. That's very nice. So here's the pump right here, part of that Super Flow gear pump stuff. Not quite sure which one's which, but here's some of the hydraulic pump, and you got this gear pump here, I think. But yeah, so all this is really accessible. Oh, and another thing, this cab was really easy to lift up compared to the M series, but look how much bigger those cab lift cylinders are. Those are almost probably double the size of the M series. Still not a fan of this hydraulic reservoir deal. I think that's probably my biggest issue with these machines. So you gotta have this sight glass here, and to keep it clean is another story, but I barely even drove this thing. From what little dirt it had already collected on it, you can't even see it. And the more you wipe it, the more it's gonna get scratched. But I would like to see a gauge go in right here like Caterpillar has. It's got like an empty, a green, and a full, and it's got a little red needle that, based on where the hydraulic fluid is, it goes from empty to full, and you could open this door and see it right there. A lot easier than this setup. So it looks like the HVAC box is a little more rigid. Like the other one just had a right angle bent piece and it would clip in up here, and over time that would kind of warp, but you can see this one's kind of reinforced on this lip, on this edge, with these plastic pieces here all the way around. Got these nice big clips all the way around. Now they've changed this plenum drain. Look how big this thing is. It's pretty good size, like a 1 inch or so, 1.5 inches. Those other ones are about like the size of your pinky, just little dinky holes, and they would clog up all the time. So that's a nice feature update there. And then most of the wiring and stuff's kind of up here. Hopefully we don't have any of the R-Series electrical nightmares with this, but it is under warranty for 3 years, so that's nice. Probably be nice to get one of them rubber hydraulic coupler fittings and put over that, because that's going to get nasty. Probably need to get one and cover that up. Everything else looks well routed. Don't see really any hoses that are going to rub on each other and wear a hole. Maybe right there. One. Yeah, it's already starting to rub a little bit there. You can kind of see right in there. May have to put some hose wrap on it right there. But most all these other ones are pretty good and straight. All that's hard piped up there, so you ain't got to worry about it. This does have the seal all the way around the cab too to help keep debris out. Those hoses are pretty good and sealed back up in there. They're well protected over here. Ain't got to worry about no sticks or nothing jamming in there and tearing up a hose. But yeah, pretty happy with this in here so far, what I see. The only downfall is having the battery up here, but it keeps it away from that heat back there on the engine like the other ones had, so it'll probably last longer. I picked this machine up from White Star. They're my local Bobcat dealer. We really like working with them. They got fantastic parts and service department, and their sales is really good as well. So if you live in Oklahoma or Kansas and you live near a White Star dealer, I'd go to them to get your Bobcat equipment. You'll be extremely satisfied. I think they got 2 locations in Oklahoma, and they got 4 or 5 in Kansas as well. So give a shout out to them, Bobcat White Star, check them out. So that was kind of an overview of this machine. Hope you guys liked it. If you're looking at getting one of these, maybe this walk around kind of showed you some features and whatnot about it. I do plan to do a 100-hour review on it like I did on the 770. So stay tuned for that. We're at about 22 hours on it so far, and I've had it for about 3 weeks. So got some jobs coming up, so we'll probably be racking up the hours pretty quick. So this spring, look out for the 100-hour review on this T86. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one.